Well, that didn't go so well. I try to learn a new character each time I play. I guess going into a super laggy environment with the first time I'm using the character is a bad idea. Anyway, let's go ahead and talk about a few things regarding like etiquette, manners, all that kind of stuff. When I'm talking about that, I don't mean like rage quitting, sending out hate mail. That's okay, you can do that. I mean, it cares. I guess it matters to some people because their record is really something important to them. Personally, for me, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you look at my online record, it's pretty bad. But I mean, I'm not going to go to Google and put on my resume that I have, I'm the number 5 on the leaderboard in Injustice. No one cares. I play to have fun, and so should you. Let's go ahead and talk about the unwritten rules of online fighting games. So first off, if you're playing a ranked match, although you shouldn't be with Injustice because matchmaking is crap, but if you're playing a ranked match, in my opinion, anything goes. Doesn't matter if you're playing ranked. You're obviously playing because you feel that you want to be ranked. So do whatever the hell you want. But as far as the other ones go, player matches. Usually in most fighting games, when you do a player match, you have the option of rematching. You do want to do 2 out of 3. If you feel like you should give your opponent some more opportunities, you can do 3 out of 5. You can do like first to 5, first to 7, first to 10, whatever. But if you're doing a 2 out of 3 and you win one game and then he wins one game and then you quit, that's bad. It's rude. Don't do that. Also, winner doesn't get to change their character. Only the loser gets to change their character. If you won the match, you guys stick with your character. This goes back all the way to the Street Fighter 2 days. The winner of a game does not get to switch their character. The game actually doesn't let them. And a lot of games carried on that tradition. I think Mortal Kombat was the first one that let the winner change their character. So who determines how long the set's going to be? So let's say you play out 2 games and your opponent hits rematch. That means he wants to go more. He wants a run back. He wants a 3 out of 5. Well, you as a winner gets to choose. So do you want to agree to that? Do you want to do a 3 out of 5? If not, you can quit out. He has no right to call you a bitch, nothing like that. He can send you a request, hey, how about we do a first to 5 or first to 3? Then you get to decide, yeah, sure, let's go ahead and do that too. But you don't have any obligation once you do the 2 out of 3 to play additional games. If you feel like this guy has no chance of winning, or if you just do not prefer his playstyle and you're not going to learn anything from playing him, and you win the first 2, then you can go ahead and quit out. Same thing with the loser. If you won 2 games and the loser feels like he's not learning anything from fighting you, he can just quit out. You can't do the same thing. You can't send him some hate mail telling him that he's a bitch or anything like that. It's perfectly fine for him to do. Now, if you won 1 game and then you quit, so the score is 1-0, yeah, you better believe the other guy has every right to send you a mail calling you a punk. Because, hey, I got caught off guard. I can do way better than that. I'm not using my main character, blah, 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 blah. Give him a chance to come back. Now, what about the things that are okay to do, but everyone says is not okay to do? So first, right off the bat, the so-called spamming. I'm doing air quotes, by the way. I think I'll go over spamming and what spamming is and the difference between spamming and zoning in a different video because it's a whole 12-chapter textbook on that. I'll just say that spamming is fine. It's just boring to play and also boring to play against. Let's talk about interactables. So people think interactables are not fair. They think they're cheating. They're not. They're not free damage. You can bait them out. You can totally tell when they're going to do one because they're standing right next to it and they're kind of waiting for you to do something. So if you get hit by an interactable, it's either because you got caught off guard or it's because you just didn't know how to avoid it. So just because you got caught off guard or you didn't know how to avoid something, does that mean that he was cheating? No. Does that mean it wasn't fair? No, that just means that you weren't paying attention, you weren't prepared enough. Alright, let's go over some other stuff. Now, I think I mentioned rage quitting before, but I'm just going to reiterate. If you cause somebody to rage quit, you should feel good because not only did you beat him, you also caused him to quit over to his dashboard, and he's now going to waste time either going back to the game or turning off his console and then screaming and yelling. So that's a good thing. You want that. Now, if you feel bad because he cheated me out of a win, now I have a loss on my record because Injustice for whatever reason gives you a loss when there's a disconnect. Don't feel bad because I mean, like I mentioned before, records don't really matter. No one cares about your record. Even if they do, if they see you have a perfect record, they're probably not going to challenge you because either they're going to assume you're way too good or that you're a rage quitter. So either way, you actually want some losses on your record. Also, I didn't go over this on part 2, but actually you can actually view their hero card, which sometimes it works. It actually doesn't work when you try to view your own, but if you view other people's, it'll work just fine. Actually, most of the time it does. It'll actually tell you how many disconnects they had. And I noticed a lot of people with the perfect records have an enormous amount of disconnects, but you can tell pretty easily there. If someone has a really good record and their disconnect ratio is like only like 10, then yeah, Challenger is probably pretty good. Or they just play Deathstroke. It actually tells you who their main character is, so you can even know ahead of time. So if you see someone with a good record, you look at their hero card and you see that their main character is Catwoman, and you're like, hey, this looks like a legit match. Yeah. I think that about covers it. There's some obvious no-nos that I don't even need to explain to you, like stay out of the beginner's channel if you're not a beginner. So if you have any questions or if you have something that I did not cover, go ahead, let me know. I work nights, so I have a lot of time to do this kind of stuff. And I'm out!